Now, I'm not a self-proclaimed audiophile, like, where do you even get a degree for that? And I'm not a YouTube sound engineer. I'm just a regular guy, and I assume with regular ears, and I use earbuds and headphones like a lot, whether it's sitting at my desk, walking my dog, going to the gym. I usually have something in my ears like all the time. Like, I just cannot stand silence. And for the past 6 years, that go-to pair of earbuds has been some form of AirPods, and more specifically in the last 3 years, that has been a pair of AirPods Pro. And I've had experience with practically every pair of AirPods, all the way up to Apple's expensive dedicated headphones, AirPods Max, and I've used a variety of wireless earbuds and headphones from Apple's competitors like Soundcore, Sony, and Google. So with 4 different pairs of AirPods on the market, are second generation AirPods Pro worth it? And is it worth upgrading from an existing pair? Or would you be a fool to do so? All right, so out of the box, AirPods 2 at first glance look almost exactly the same as the original AirPods Pro. And design-wise, the buds themselves pretty much are that, with the only real difference, if you can call it that, is that the AirPods Pro 2 now ship with an extra pair of extra small ear tips, so they should be a better fit on more ear types. Now, while the buds look the same, the case does not, and now features a spot on the right to attach a lanyard to, and holes on the bottom of the case that are for speakers that are actually inside the case. The speakers aren't used for playing podcasts or music, but it's actually there to be used as a way to play a confirmation sound when you charge your case or for other alerts. And it can also now be charged with an Apple Watch charger, which has been great for chargers like the MagSafe Duo, which can also now just function as an iPhone and AirPods charger rather than just an iPhone and Apple Watch charger. And perhaps even more importantly, the AirPods Pro case is now part of Apple's Find My network with its own built-in U1 chip. So you can use the handy Find My features to locate a lost or misplaced AirPods case. And smartly, using those case speakers that we just talked about, you can now actually ping your AirPods Pro 2 case to play a sound to make them easier to locate. This is probably my favorite feature of AirPods Pro 2. I cannot tell you how many times I, took my AirPods, put them in my ear, left the case somewhere, walked around, and just completely forgot where I misplaced my case. Like, I would leave them on top of like a shelf or sometimes like in my closet drawer or something like that. And I would just go crazy looking for the case because, the AirPods only had like 5 hours battery life, so they would die, and then I'd be like, where's my case? I need to charge them. So this now having the Find My capabilities and then also being able to ping it with a sound through the speakers, that is ingenious, and it is such a huge quality of life improvement for me. So I now have no fear of ever misplacing the case. So the case for me, it's a huge update. I know it sounds so trivial, but it's already made my experience after a week of using AirPods Pro 2 so much better. Now, while the case is the easiest upgrade to see from the previous pair of AirPods Pro, it is not the only upgrade. Even though the AirPods look exactly the same as the last model, they're packed with a bunch of upgrades. First of all, the AirPods Pro stem now has a new touch gesture that allows you to increase or decrease the volume with either a swipe up or a swipe down. Doing an upward swipe obviously increases the volume, and then doing a downward swipe decreases the volume. At first, I was personally worried that this gesture would interfere with the existing squeeze controls on the AirPods Pro stems and lead to accidental volume swipes. But thankfully, I haven't really noticed any accidental touches during my week of use. The feature itself, it works. It registers the swipes accurately, and if you're away from your device, it's an option to control volume where you didn't have any other ways to control it before. However, I wish the volume increments themselves were larger rather than the more finely tuned volume increments on the AirPods Pro, because usually I want to decrease the volume on my AirPods if I'm trying to hear something, and that usually requires a few fast-paced swipes to get the volume down to a level where I want it. I think it would be nice if there was a way to change how much the volume increases or decreases in the settings, or maybe implement a swipe and hold feature to quickly bring the volume down. That's a small nitpick though. Other than that, the AirPods Pro experience is the same that you know. It has squeezable gestures to play and pause or skip between tracks, and long holds either switches you between the transparency or noise cancellation mode. And that is where the true magic of AirPods Pro 2 come in. Noise cancellation on these earbuds is touted as being 2 times more noise cancellation, which is kind of a weird thing to say. Like, it's almost impossible to measure that these things cancel out 2 times more noise. And when I first heard this claim touted by Apple on stage, I was immediately skeptical. Like, I was like, there's no way. They can't be that much better. I mean, look at these things. They're not even over-the-ear headphones. They're tiny little earbuds you put into your ear, and they barely cover anything. Like, these are not over-the-ear headphones. Like, the noise cancellation on the original AirPods, they were good, but how could they make them 2 times better with this small design? And I was wrong. Fully wrong. The noise cancellation is way better, and almost spookingly so. Like, I was sitting outside and I enabled noise cancellation for the first time, and without music on, all I could really hear was my own heartbeat. That's not hyperbole, that's just how good they are. Seriously, if you have a pair, just enable noise cancellation, sit there without any music, and let me know if you can hear your own heartbeat. Now, the transparency mode remains excellent, and it's one of my favorite features about the original AirPods Pro. Transparency mode allows outside sound in rather than canceling noise. Because of the natural seal of AirPods Pro, they do block out a little bit of sound even without noise cancellation on. This is great for when you're using AirPods Pro and you still want to be able to hear your outside environment, like if you're having a conversation with someone or making sure you hear like a car passing by. I love how natural everything sounds with transparency mode, and with how comfortable AirPods Pro fit in my ear, sometimes I forget I'm wearing them at all. One new feature supposedly is adaptive transparency mode, which will still block out harsh sounds like a lawnmower or a jackhammer from a construction site. During my review period, I did not walk by any construction sites or see anyone mowing their lawn, so I don't really get to test this feature out. I did try using it with the Apple Watch Ultra Siren, but it didn't seem to cancel out the noise, and it played right through the transparency mode like it normally would, so I don't know exactly what sounds. Like, I know like Apple used the jackhammer as like an example, but I don't know like what other harsh sounds this thing is supposed to filter out with the adaptive transparency mode. So I didn't have any use cases for adaptive transparency in my week of use, and I couldn't artificially trigger this feature either. Now, obviously what you want to know is how do these sound with the transparency mode on and also with noise cancellation on. And I will say that when you have music playing or a podcast playing and you have noise cancellation on, that's basically all you can hear. Like, the noise cancellation's that good, it is really impressive. That tuned with the enhanced drivers and the new H2 chip, there is a noticeable sound quality improvement over the last generation of AirPods Pro. I would say they sound similar to AirPods 3, which also had enhanced audio, but with the proper seal of AirPods Pro 2 being in-ear earbuds, make them actually sound much better. Again, I am no audiophile. It's hard for me to describe music at times, but I'll say it does have a pleasing sound with a satisfying thump for bass, but not overly bass heavy. Music sounded well balanced to me, and I thought the tracks were rich and very warm sounding, and I didn't notice any distortion at higher volumes. And if you're a fan of spatial audio, depending on what music tracks you listen to, well, the AirPods Pro do a good job of separating sound on good Dolby Atmos tracks. So yes, with noise cancellation on, or with transparency mode on, or with it off, honestly, the sound on AirPods Pro 2 are really good. Now, I don't think the sound quality is good enough that you should go out and upgrade from an original pair of AirPods Pro just for an increase in sound quality. But that doesn't mean it's not worth the upgrade, because there's so much to love with AirPods Pro 2. And all of these improvements are a big upgrade when you add them together. Even the longer 6 hours of listening time with noise cancellation enabled means that these things can spend less time in the case charging and more time in your ears, and hopefully should age better as well, causing less battery degradation, meaning you can keep your AirPods pair even longer. My biggest issue is probably with audio recording on the AirPods Pro 2. I find that Bluetooth just in general is pretty poor for voice recordings, and usually I'd rather just use the built-in microphone on my iPhone because I find that superior. And right here I just switched over to the inbuilt microphone on my iPhone 14 Pro Max, so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. Well, you can't see it, but you can listen to the audio difference. I always try to find a downside with my reviews because no product is perfect. If I had one complaint, maybe it's that it didn't make the switch to USB-C this year. But listen, the iPhone 14 didn't either, even though the iPhone 15 is rumored to make that change. So I guess I can't really blame Apple. Like, if they put USB-C on this, I think that would be more inconvenient for users who are using it because they probably have an iPhone, so they probably have lightning cables laying around. And even so, even if you're like, oh, I really want USB-C on this, there's so many different ways to charge this now, whether that's through a lightning cable, whether that's through wireless charging, and now even an Apple Watch charger. So there's a lot of ways to charge AirPods Pro 2. So even not having USB-C, realistically, it's not that big of a downgrade. I usually use a wireless charger on my AirPods Pro 2, and now I've just been using my Apple Watch charger. Even the price on AirPods Pro 2 should be something I should be able to be negative about, because $250 is a lot for earbuds. But they're so worth it. They're so worth that $250 price point. So much so that I don't really think I can recommend a pair of regular AirPods 3 at full price. The AirPods Pro 2 are easily worth the additional $70 with their enhanced feature set. And I would even say that if you bought an original pair of AirPods Pro and they're starting to age with a weaker battery, or you just want some of the features I mentioned in this video, they are actually worth the upgrade cost. So don't be fooled. These are a big upgrade, even if they look exactly the same as the original AirPods Pro. And I think the best thing I can say about AirPods Pro 2 is that I don't really feel like I need to reach for my bigger pair of AirPods Max, which are dedicated headphones. AirPods Pro 2 are just more comfortable, have a smaller profile, sound good enough, have excellent noise cancellation, and I just love how easy it is to bring them with me. I have them always on me, and AirPods in general have just become an indispensable part of my life. I love AirPods so much, and AirPods Pro 2, they're the best AirPods I've ever used. All right, everyone, hopefully you found this review helpful, and if you did, don't forget to like the video, and if you found it really helpful, don't forget to subscribe, and if you're subscribed, hey, I'll catch you in the next one.